Alright, this is Arena Classic, my current ongoing tournament on not Arena, but Vintage Arena. However, this one is disappointingly similar to the current Definitive Edition Arena. Maybe a little bit tighter, could be a bit shorter distance between the walls, and Relic Spawn seems to favor the Belgian a little bit, to be honest. So maybe a limited playing field in the middle, but otherwise quite similar to your Definitive Edition Arena. Resources could fall outside, that's why the players are scouting the outside early on here. Sheep, deer, boar could spawn outside. There's always going to be two patches of gold inside of a base, a small one and a big one, which makes it easier to secure your gold or whatever your Castle Age onwards plays are going to be, or for some civilizations maybe even Feudal Age. And yeah, the Belgian with Koreans here. Sort of expecting to see a War Wagons play here, but or at least some early Castle Age aggression here against the Burgundians. You can't leave the Burgundians with their free boom. Their economy is just way too good for that. So stone nice in the back here for the Belgian, even if DBS for some reason would go for a tower rush here. Then the Belgian would still have the stone nice and safe in the back. So it's not going to be a tower rush though, because the Vintage Arena has had the Dark Age walls buffed to 1800 stone to eliminate that opportunity. Or it's still viable, it's just a lot harder to pull off. Well, this looks familiar, says the Belgian. Well, it's because you played this set. So glad to confirm that you don't have memory loss just yet. Alright, I'm gonna toggle fast forward here because, as you know, arena games tend to be on the uneventful side until early Castle Age. So that's what I'm going to do here to save a little bit of time. My ability to speak gibberish is limited. So might as well just fast forward and keep an eye on what's going on there. Burgundians going up at 26 pop here, the Belgian going up at 23. Still able to pull off that straight fast castle with a minimal idle TC time here. And an absolutely ridiculous investment on stone here from the Belgian. 10 on stone for the Belgian. That is to be able to... Oh, almost let the opponent in here, but it's fine. Yeah, drop a castle, maybe 2 castles fairly soon here. I guess once you have enough stone for the castle, you'll retask some builders to gold to be able to produce your War Wagons, because this has to be a castle play. I assume the first castle goes defensively and then you move out with the War Wagons and try to put hard in to deal some damage on the opponent's side, but let's just keep a close eye on the Belgian, as DBS still has 1 minute to go for the Castle Age. Significantly earlier Castle Age here for the Belgian. Oh, there we go. So the castle goes up. That's not going to be any surprise for DBS here, who is massing scouts. Yeah, it's obviously a means to assume some middle control here, to try and collect the relics, to deny any castle drop or whatever, and it also provides a field of vision here to confirm the War Wagons that will be coming DBS's way here. Burgundians, they have those eco upgrades in, of course, nice and early on. So skirmisher, even elite skirmisher defense comes to mind. Burgundians really want to collect the relics, because they also get a food boost from relics after you get Burgundian vineyards. Unique technology. Lynn is in the chat as well. Hello. Welcome. Castle finally completing for the Belgian here, and the War Wagons in the queue. 3 War Wagons for the time being. Yeah, Flemo is a sucker for arena, you know, so I guess he made an exception for this one. Well, DBS just chooses to be annoying here, just pounding away at the gate. For the time being, though, the Belgian has given away the map control. So, snagging some relics should be an option here. I mean, monks could easily convert war wagons as well. So, the Belgian is cautious not to move out here yet because of that. Because we need a decent mass to make sure all of your armies don't just get converted like that. Second town center for DBS here, also a nice defensive castle. Doesn't seem too stressed out of the situation for the time being. First relic to be collected. First two relics to be collected here for the red player. But knowing Belgian and his all-ins, that economy isn't really something he's too worried about at this point. Petard's coming! He's going to try and catch DBS by surprise here. The issue being the castle already going up here for DBS, and aside from floating shit tons of wood here, DBS actually has a very healthy economy running, keeps both town centers producing. Question mark? Not really. 4 villagers in queue. I think you need to check your idle villager hotkey, or select all TC's hotkey DBS. Nah, these things happen. This TC literally just completed, so can't really blame a player for that. Anyway, it's 2 TCs to 1 now. DBS only needs to survive, could essentially boom into Flemish Revolution here and turn the game around potentially, even against Koreans, because the Belgians' economy is on the fragile side now with only 1 TC and a very limited economy at home base here. Yeah, select all TC, that's literally the only hotkey I've added since 2002, so I got talked into it finally after 2 years of DE, and it's quite handy, I have to admit that. In my case it's Q actually. I still spam the go to TC button, Lin, because I think it gives me a sense of control to see the villager actually being queued. But sometimes you want to be able to queue villagers out of all TCs without looking away, and then that's quite handy. War wagons count increasing here. The petard, it's only 1 petard though. You're gonna need, or did I? No, it's 2 petards. Why did I only see 1? That's weird. I mean, we're at minute 23 here now. It feels a little bit. I mean, it's not late, but it feels risky at this point. Belgium is heavily relying on the petards to make an opening and breakthrough here. Can we garrison petards and ramps? No, petards are considered siege weapons, so they can't. But when they walk right, right behind war wagons, if they look at this, look at this, look at this. If they're right behind the war wagon from the right angle, you actually can't see them. Here you go. DBS. How you want to react to this? Belgium finds the most narrow area possible here to move in, and doesn't seem to care too much about the castle fire here. Why would he? The war wagons are actually kind of tanky. They have lots of hit points. They have decent pierce armor, but oh, they might get walled out. DBS has seen right through the war wagons investment as well. Has lots of monks out already. 7 monks out. That's 3 wagons lost to conversion already. Imagine if Koreans had heresy, guys. Then the war wagons would be even more scary. Well, somehow Belgium manages to get in here, found the most weak spot, broke through the house. And now things are about to change here. DBS, if DBS gets that castle up, then the War Wagon's aggression is potential is limited. But DBS 12 military, enough monks to get more conversions in, I guess. This castle, however, I don't think it completes easily. But monks, obviously, an issue here. Let's see, does he have... Yeah, of course he has Sanctity in as well, so his hit points are higher. Belgian with 8 villagers killed here, hardly worth the 20 War Wagons investment here. Husbandry coming in to move away from the monks more quickly as well. But what do you do after a push like this has failed? You're massively behind now, almost 20 villagers behind for the Belgian. And fighting against a Burgundian player actually going Imperial Age here. Ouch. Well, I think DBS saw right through the Civ draft and plans here with the with the War Wagons. Just perfect defensive castle here in the near the front wall, protecting the main gold, allowing for monks production. Didn't even make more than made 2 monasteries, collected the relics for passive gold income, and now just re-walling with stone walls to keep any more War Wagons from re-entering here. The Belgian also with only that 1 castle, now dropping a market to transition some of the economy to from gold to elsewhere, maybe to, or just to keep up production. It's going to be an issue when the Imperial Age kicks in for DBS though, because what does the Belgian do? Look at the resource bars here, it's quite a while to go to the next age. Monks! Monk! I need a monk! I wonder if for goodness we get block printing. I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, what's that? No loom actually. DBS lost 20 villagers. That's because of no loom. So honestly, decent aggression by the Belgian. But now look at the War Wagons numbers. DBS has more War Wagons than the Belgian at this point, and is 1 age ahead. This is not a pretty sight for the Belgian, I'm sure, seeing so many War Wagons lost and 1 relic not taken by DBS, but who cares? DBS is in charge of things here now. Yeah, we have 8 Burgundian War Wagons now against the 4 of the Belgian here. A second castle finally going up. That will at the very least limit the entry, or delay DBS's entry into the Belgian space. But the Imperial Age is in. Monks are in. With block printing, so 9+3 range for the monks. Good luck outranging that with your 6 range War Wagons. That's essentially double the range for the monks, opposed to the War Wagons. More petards here, so Belgium wants to break through yet again, but this time around DBS has the loom as well, and just casually places a DC outside on the gold over here, making Costelier, and basically every unit in the game here now. Extreme AI on the move over here. Petard being used to take out part of a treb here. The Belgian certainly loves his petards over here, but I think we might even see Flemish Revolution here before this game ends. Oh no, the GG Blade is called, but that's a good attempt at a really quick castle age here for the Koreans with the Belgian, but in the end not able to punish the Burgundians economical approach nearly enough. Bloom at 30 minutes. And almost twice villagers for DBS in the end as well. The draft you can find with exclamation mark draft, but we could show it again here with the Burgundians versus the Corbians. Looks like we might have some monk masterpieces on our hands because the Belgian has Aztecs in the draft. And DBS seems like the turtly type with the booming sea with the Burgundians, the Britons with the extra range archers and whatnot. Spanish, Turks, Portuguese, Bohemians banned. Let's find game 2. Aztecs, Britons. Nice. The tournament is called Arena Classic. It is only Arena, only Vintage Arena for the tournament. It's one map. Oh, and in fact, what's that? And I'm running some... Is this the one? Yeah, there we go. Arena Clown Classic, yes. Great. I'm running some small events through the summer as well. It's open elo, unfortunately. It's just so it's much easier to manage. So the higher rated players will always be favored in that sense, but it's also easy to it's a low-key chance to get to play your favorite man. Ooh, boars outside. This is a Lin. The thing with Arena Classic is that things can spawn outside. Sheep can spawn outside. Boars can spawn outside. And laming, of course, as a result, is allowed. You need to preserve your resources, or take care of your resources. You need to scout knights. The Belgian are going to steal a boar here. I mean, DBS didn't. Okay, he sees it because of the gate, but he didn't technically scout it. There's a couple of sheep here with the stone as well. Yes, it's a classic arena script, so boars, sheep, and deer can spawn outside. It's intentional. But it will always be the same for both players, so the sheep spawn outside, and it spawns outside for both players. The boar spawns outside, it spawns outside for both players, as you can see here. Belgian has boar. That's pretty bold, actually, that's hilarious. Tell me you're... Oh, I didn't scout it! Oh, it's a pity. Could have stolen the boar here. Can still steal it, actually. Belgian, hungry for revenge here. He has the eagle. It's also easier to steal enemy boars with the eagle because it moves slightly slower than the scout cavalry. Oh, tell me you're gonna find it. He's seen his own boar outside. That looks a bit scary, but probably going to be alright. Yeah, it's probably most efficient to delete the stone wall and build a house or a wall instead. Okay, so now he sees the boar. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Guess you're busy luring your own. Yeah, you could also keep the gate open with the sheep like that. This is funny because DBS has to move outside to get a boar. So if the Belgian just sticks around close to this one, then he will either be able to enter DBS's base and take out the unloomed villagers, or simply steal a boar. It's an option. It's an option. Oh, Scout staying close to the boar now, just in case. No, he was going to try it, but he gets the first hit, which is good for the Eagle Scout. In the Dark Age, the Eagle has higher attack. That's the only age where the Eagle Scout wins one-on-one against Scout Cavalry. I'll take it. Come on. Come on. Yes! Good reaction by DBS. Immediately sees the boar running away, but this messes with your early arena. No! Okay, Belgium might need to delete the wall now to get comfortably inside there. It still delays DBS, but if you lose the scout, that's bad news. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like DBS has fought um, boar stealing before. And now you have to choose if you want to let this go. Oh, it's inside! Oh, beautiful! First board game I've cast it in Arena Classic. It's totally worth the idle time. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woohoo! Good work. And that sets back Britons significantly. Aztecs, they carry +3 resources per trip from the very get-go as well. This is 340 food extra for the Belgian. It's 340 food less for DBS, who has already pushed in all the deer. Of course, will be able to click the food lage as usual, but rough start. Yeah, lame 2 sheep. That's right, you lamed the 2 sheep as well. I forgot that. So DBS really has to extend the Dark Age economy now to compensate for the loss of important arcade food. It's like 540 food lost for DBS, and as a result, of course, just as much food extra for the Belgian here, who didn't pick up to the fuel age yet. DBS is actually going up here with 25 villagers. Belgian has loom probably to compensate for lack of production. Okay, so Belgian has loom, that's why it's 2 villagers behind. DBS is going to have a massive head start to the fuel age, but I guess DBS's only option here is to use that earlier fuel age to push with archers or towers or something to obstruct Belgian's progression here. Or, of course, try to get to the castle age. I guess with enough farms you might be able to. This is a lot of wood for the early stages of the game going into farms. This 660 food right here, isn't it? Wood right here, isn't it, in farms? So DBS is actually going to struggle possibly to afford the blacksmith range or blacksmith market to go castle age here. Belgians with 3 on stone. Does he want to go for Jaguar Rush or something? There's actually berries in the village, right, Lynn? So that could be a way to compensate for DBS, actually, because there aren't going to be any armies out in the field other than the starting scout for a while, so you could actually compensate a bit with the extra berries. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes. Sometimes this vintage arena spawn can give 2 berry bushes inside the base as well. Alright, so we are in the feudal age with DBS, and DBS is dropping the stable of all things. Wanting to okay, I seem to have lost the connection here, so let's huh. What's the internet situation here? We should be back on now. Let's just pick up where we left off. I'm back. Sorry about the disconnect. My computer is actually is emitting a lot of heat, so I may be developing dust issues or something. But we're back live, as far as I can tell, thankfully. And this is there's a stable. How often do you see a Britain stable on the arena? What's with the? I mean, DBS obviously wants to contest the middle map again, collect the relics, keep an eye out for what the Belgian is doing. But the Belgian is so. Look at the resource count here. Castle Age at almost the same time as DBS. It's just one 1/2 minute difference, and obviously a much stronger economy leaning into it for the Aztecs. The extra food of the Belgian essentially means he didn't need to seed a single farm at all. Often offsets a loss. Okay, so we do see Britain stables on the arena. Yeah, I guess it makes sense for a map control perspective to have the mobility of the scouts and the taking out the monks, but oh well. I'm just surprised DBS is still up first behind all of this, and actually with the villager leading into it, but that's the idle time, which DBS probably recognized from the multitasking and the uptime of the Belgian here. But again, still fewer farms for the Belgian. Massive gold investment here now, and enough stone for a castle as well. So castle for... It's going to be petards and eagles this time then. The infantry upgrades are in. We're going to see eagles. Castle, petard, eagles. Which could cause issues for DBS, of course, if DBS goes for the boom approach again here. One villager building the castle for the Belgian. It's not like it's in a rush to get those petards out. Maybe DBS would be expecting it this time around after the previous game, but we'll see. Another mining camp for the Belgian. Pretty heavy gold investment here. 9 farms. I don't remember off the top of my head how many farms you need to sustain 1 barracks production of eagles, but I think the eagles are only 20 food a piece, so probably not a lot of farms needed for that. Castle is going to complete. There are some scouts out and about. DBS, of course, collecting the relics while keeping the map control in the middle here, but the boom will be disrupted soon enough, I'm sure. All the infantry upgrades kicking in here. The Belgian can use the market to tweak the resources if need be to buy some food to keep consistent eagle production here. 3rd barracks going up as well, and army production to commence soon enough. The DBS sees 1 barracks, but that isn't necessarily an indication of eagles, so we'll it's on still just your good old arena mind games at this point. Why did we get this so standard? The walls are almost DE distance here, and maybe a little bit tighter middle formation, but it's disappointingly similar to the current ranked DE arena. 7 scouts for DBS out here now. Collected 2 other relics. Probably has all of them scouted, yeah. 3, 4, 5. That's going to provide a nice and juicy gold boost for the Britain's player. While the... is it the 5th barracks for the Belgian is popping up here. We've seen the barracks or Eagles have success in the prize bracket of Arena Classic as well, where Hannes took a game of Nahuel in with the Incas, but that was random Civ and reverse Civ, so it was Incas, and I actually don't remember the other Civ off the top of my head, but Hannes 700 elo below Nahuel actually took a game, so that was pretty cool. DBS attacking the gates again, obviously not to try and break through here, because this gate has more than enough HP to keep any aggression out. But it might or might not reveal what the Belgian had in mind here. Petards in the queue and 18 Eagle Warriors and counting as well. And Britons, they basically need to rely on champions to deal with Eagles. They don't really have a great cavalry to match that in the cast stage. Of course, still if you get full backnet upgrades for your unbloodline knights, maybe you'd be able to hold off first few waves of Eagles, but the Belgian now with 28 military to the 11 of DBS. And the 30 Eagles. Now, not a surprise anymore. The scouts pounding away the walls. Now, DBS will need to react here with stone walls, probably. That's dropping some barracks. Maybe longswords will. I mean, longswords did get buffed. But you still need to mass them. DPS actually going Imperial Age here at 70 villagers, so that opens for the opportunity of champions, but with the petards now coming here, there's still a chance that the Belgian gets through in time to deal some proper damage with the current mass of Eagles. Only 36 villagers for the Belgian. Basically ceasing builders. It's getting wheelbarrow for the farms actually, but yeah, basically stopping production here to keep massing the Eagles. Whether DBS saw the petards or not, is probably going to expect this to come. They didn't actually have any option to scout the castle though. Is it enough with one petard to take out a house? I think you need two, right? But it also weakens the house a lot, so the Eagles can do the rest of the job. Eagles have a little bit of conversion resistance as well, so monks, even though they can get conversions in, might not be enough. Monastery will go down, will be going down. That means that the relics of DBS are no longer providing passive gold income. Stone longswords out of 6 barracks here, and Imperial Age right around the corner, which eventually will allow for 200 swordsmen and champions. But the Eagles are in, and that's a lot of them now. 45 military for the Belgian here, 12 more Eagles in the queue, and don't think DBS, even with the quick house walls or stone walls, stone gates, barracks production, I don't think DBS can hold this out. It's just too much, too many units. And Loom isn't even in. DBS is not one of those to rush Loom. It's just comfortable behind the stone walls. And without Loom, of course, the Eagles slay villagers way more quickly here. It's a slaughterhouse. It's 24 villagers down, and just like that, the eco advantage of DBS is going to be negated by the Eagles' investment here. And that is the GG well played. Belgium takes the middle game here. We'll be going to a third game with Gurjaris versus Vietnamese. after a quick look at the statistics, of course. Too easy with 5 relics and no time or gold to click Doom. Yeah, exactly. How much military? 55 guilds at least, and army high like 3 times that of DBS. Told you I belong to the high bracket. Yeah, that's true. You're proving yourself here, the Belgian. So you didn't get to stomp, or you encouraged me to put you in this bracket and not the lowest one, and that seems to be a good call. Let's go for a decider game with Gurjaras versus Vietnamese. So Gurjaras start with 2 berry bushes. They start with a camel scout. Only civilization for now to actually have a camel scout that immediately upgrades to a camel in the castle age as well. And yeah, berry bushes, that's almost 250 extra food for you right underneath your TC. Of course, you could just go for that right away. You'll probably drop one mill before the lumber camp with the Gurjaras, because if you garrison your herdables inside the middle, you will also be able to collect passive food from the pigs or whatnot. And there are pigs outside as well, so the Belgian would be wise to move out and try and scout for DBS's pigs, but they already found them outside, so learning from the previous game, the risk of resources outside. The deer are outside as well, so you'll need to keep a pig or something to keep the gate open to more easily push in your hunt. At least they're conveniently right outside the gate, so just go for it that way. It's like 4 deer per player. Or is it 3? No, it's 4. Crossbowers, 1 TC YOLO Eagles, yeah. The crossbows shouldn't be able to win that, and I guess they didn't. Yeah, pigs and water buffaloes, they're like the worst scouting herdables in the game. They're so slow. This one, however, is likely going to be uneventful. Belgian is actually not going for the early build to garrison the pigs here, at least not yet, maybe not at all. It's almost a bit surprising. It's a tiny food trickle, but it's still a food trickle. He must be having other plans in mind then. Still has that bonus food of the berry bushes to start, of course. Going to gold here. Maybe we'll see an elephant archer masterpiece or the chakram thrower. Actually, this spawn is fairly close between players. Feudal Age not yet in for the Belgian. Once the Feudal Age kicks in, the Camel Scout gets more attack and can much more convincingly contest the scouts. As you can see in Dark Age, no bonus damage against cavalry, but once the Feudal Age kicks in, 6 bonus damage against cavalry. So now the Belgian would be winning the fight easily if DBS is forced into an engagement here. Extra HP on the cavalry as well compared to the scout. Ward's fairly close here, so if you get the castle up in the middle at some point, you'll be grabbing quite a significant portion of the map. DBS with the Vietnamese here wants to get those or at least get the castle up. Might be playing Rat Archers or a semi-fast imp style play here with the bombard cannons and range unit push. And I guess in theory you have the Imperial skirmishers against Gurjaras. Wait, maybe they don't get camel archers to Gurjaras. I don't remember that. Which the old elephant archers. I mean elephant archers. But the only Indians not getting them anymore is the Hindustanis. So I think they get them, but their bonuses are more just as much towards light cav camels that attack faster. So that could be an option as well. Maybe though, maybe not against the Vietnamese. Here we go, Castle Age is in for DBS, still got a while to go for that castle, has the barracks up with some spearmen and will once again try to contest the middle here, so sort of a... yeah. Standard arena approach to the middle map control here, but looking at the relic disposition, it's important to contest them as well, otherwise it's going to be so easy for the Belgian to collect them. Lower idleness time for the Belgian here, a later castle age, but that's going up at a higher population, I assume. Also going to contest the middle here with some scouts, and they, I believe they attack faster, seconds between attack, that's... yeah, I can't compare to DBS's scout anymore, but... definitely trying to claim control over the relics here, the Belgian. Uh-oh, that's not good for the scout. DBS getting a free kill there as Belgian is focusing on something else, but the monk is out now and will start picking up the at least a few relics here. Double monasteries for the Belgian actually, and the Gurjaras, I guess they have a decent, more than decent monk tech tree, so you could probably pull off a monk siege play with the Gurjaras as well. Do you have any pigs garrison at all? Nope. It's such a small trickle of food, so hardly game-changing. But it could be a nice boost to your food income in the early game anyway. So DBS not succeeding as much with the relic contest this game. The Belgian has the faster attacking scouts, at least I believe all Gurjaras cavalry benefit from that. Not just the camels, but maybe I'm misremembering. And looks like the Belgian could get the monk snipe here as well. Perfect. Good value. It's 2 TCs to what's about to be 3 for DBS though. And DBS with the lower idle TC time is assuming an eco lead here of 35 to 30 villagers. Is only bonus damage that's faster? What? That's weird. Mounted units deal 50% bonus damage. Oh, that's what we mean. Yeah, okay. So that means that at least the scouts will and the light cav will kill monks more quickly, and that the camels will also kill knights more quickly because they deal 50% more bonus damage. Gotcha. 4 relics for the Belgian, not bad at all. DBS, however, with the tiny eco lead here. Although not all 3 TCs pumping actually, 2 TCs. And he's, yeah, just released them, doesn't want to give away Spearman for free there. Too many monks to warrant that, and looks like a pseudo monk siege push here for the Belgian incoming. 1 villager moving out now. I don't think DBS saw that because he deleted the Spearman before that was the case. Here comes the Siege Workshop. Does Red see that? Yep, sees the foundation, unless that's a spec bug, and he immediately reacts with the castle has admittedly been mining stone for a while. Yeah, so that's going to put a stopper to the monks' movement from this this area, the siege workshop. Siege weapons may even run right into cast fire here. Armored elephant first, then the mangonel. So that's the equivalent of a battering ram for the Gujaras, but if you have the cavalry upgrades like husbandry, bloodlines, defense, I think defense as well, it affects the elephants' upgrades. So they will actually be more tanky than the battering rams in that regard. So not as easy to fight them off with villagers. Good call on the Belgian to move over here with everything as well, because that castle is obviously denying entry from this area. But if Belgium breaks through over here, might still be able to pass through with the monks and whatnot to deal damage. Second castle for DBS though. Bought some stone to be able to get that one up, and if this castle completes, which is not all that unlikely, then it's going to be very hard for the Belgian to deal any proper damage here. The eco situation is comparable between the two, and the Belgian is adding TC number 4, so monk at siege push with 4 TC backup here. That's quite the commitment from the Belgian in the teal color here. Two armored elephants now, so they can be converted by monks if the monk is up close, right next to them, like with rams when you have monks with redemption. But you don't need redemption to convert armored elephants. As long as you get close enough, you're fine. What's with the Belgian and hiding units inside or behind other units? That scout was just completely disguised there under the stomach of the elephant. Range is going up as well. This should be the armored elephants, I believe. The food and gold economy sort of allowing for that, but with that said, DBS has dropped 2 castles. That should be a cue for the Belgian to just, rather than spend the food on military, the Belgian should try to aim for the Imperial Age here and trap those castles down before DBS can do anything else here. It's a decent defensive castle though, it covers both the golds here and the TC, so that should be just fine. And the food count also not too far off the Imperial Age, however DBS is already up here. And that is arguably a questionable strategic call on the Belgian here to play extended cast age given the economy in the bank. I think the Belgian in theory could have beaten the DBS, albeit slightly, but to the Imperial Age here. But now DBS is comfortably inside at home base with the 3 TCs or 2 TCs still producing, and now making the army from the 2 castles, making use of the 2 defensive castles, while the Belgians still won't have any Imperial Age trebuchets to contest them here. Unique technology from the Castle Age coming in here. I think that's the one that causes the military units to cost 25% less food, which means that the elephant archers will be cheaper as well. And hello, Venegor, by the way. Rat Archers in numbers, the Belgian now 1 minute away from the Imperial Age. DBS with low resources in the bank here, but that's not to say that the crucial upgrades are not affordable. The university, oh, got to love the villager pathing there. They're actually just standing on top of the foundation of a university that I'm sure DBS would have preferred to already be building. So he must be shaking his head as to why isn't my university building? I need my chemistry. I need chemistry for my Rat Archers and bombard cannons to follow up. Seriously? Is it Labor Day or something? Why aren't you working? There we go. So DBS finally realizes after lost about half a minute, maybe a full minute there for the university as well, and chemistry takes forever to research, so it's really slowing things down a bit here for DBS, but DBS hasn't taken a single loss. The main advantage the Belgian has here is the passive relic gold income, but that's for the very long game here. Elephant Archers in the queue, not nearly enough to push in just yet, but it does push back the Rat Archers that aren't quite elite yet either. Huh. More ranges going. Lots of ranges for the Belgian here. It's also in the Imperial Age, of course, getting conscription. That's going to speed up the units production as well. Elephant Archers versus Rat Archers. And they have... they're lacking some of the defense upgrades here. I'm not sure why DBS is getting Squires here. As that will... That only boosts infantry movement speed, doesn't it? So that doesn't really make sense to me. But it has to be Halberdiers then. Halberdiers against the Elephant Archers. And that's, I mean, if you get enough of them, of course, and get the full upgrades, might be your best bet to hold them off. Halberdiers in front, maybe some, yeah, Halb, Elite Skirm and Rat Archers or whatever, bomber cannons. Belgium needs to break through though. We have 2 trebuchets now ready to push. Could start pushing down castle. Has some BP units here to protect a trap push. And 54 wood now for DBS. Well, the Belgian is getting frontier guards, and I don't even know. Camel riders and elephant archers get +4 melee armor. That's what that technique, technology does. Which means that as far as the Gurjaris go, they have they are going to be harder to push away with halberdiers, because with the unique technology, the the elephant archers get more melee. So we yet have the unique tech for gold shopping. Let's check. Let's have a look. Nah, not yet. Not yet. But that would probably come in handy. Paper money for the Vietnamese. Well, the military count is behind for the Belgian, but the military strength is well ahead, given the mass of what is essentially Elephant Archer as the main unit here. I don't even know what they cost with that unique tech, but they're probably on the cheaper side. They cost food and gold, not wood, like most ranged units do. Imperial skirmishers are doing work here, though. Look at that! Look at that! They're like 4-shotting an Elephant Archer or something. 68 food. Yeah, okay, so that's quite cheap for an Elephant Archer, to be honest. One castle down for DBS. And the Belgian now out pushing. Got the Hussar out as well. But struggling for military numbers here. The units are in queue. It's mainly Elephant Archers here, some Hussars to boot as well, but kind of looks like to afford all this, the Belgian would benefit from even more farmers here. Let's say 10 more farmers, and it would, even with the food discount, it would be easier to keep massing everything, I think. Look at all those Imperial skirmishers, though. Is this the proper counter to Elephant Archers? Is it? They probably get elite as well, right? But we're just not quite there yet for the Belgian. It's a costly upgrade, and of course you need numbers before you go for the actual upgrades. That only makes sense. 30 military now to 47. DBS is defending with full trash here. 60 on wood, and still doesn't have that unique technology that gives gold from wood income. That could have actually generated some gold at this point. Some more barracks going up here as well, so we're going to see more halberdiers entering the field in front of the Imperial skirmishers here. Imperial skirmishers killing freaking trebuchets here from behind the broken walls. An age of noob in the chat. Hello. Need more Elephantos. Yeah. We need more Elephantos. It's not a lack of production buildings here, to say the least. But the Belgian is also denied from pushing into DBS's base, which is, of course, unfortunate. Does DBS have Loom this game? No Loom! He's the no Loom guy. It's minute 45, and he's just never feel threatened enough to bother getting Loom, or just forgot about it. And to be fair, he's only lost 11 villagers, because the Belgian didn't manage to break through. Captro in the chat, hello. It's the decided game between the Belgian and DBS here. And we're still relying on Elephant Archers and Hussars here, but even if it's a food discount, the gold is still being drained of the Belgians, making use of the neutral golds, of course, teasing the gold to the side here. Arguably still having the map control, but being pushed back by mainly trash here from the Vietnamese. The fully upgraded Imperial skirmishers. One-shotting a Hussar there, that was funny. And bombard cannons now joining in as well together with the halberdiers. The Belgian is struggling to field numbers to deal with this. Doesn't have enough hussars to deal with the Imperial skirmishers, and besides there are halberdiers here to chew up the hussars before they can get to the imp skirms as well. Looks like the Vietnamese player has the game in the bag here. DBS is really making good calls here defensively. Clearly a defensive mind player, and with solid experience on arena. Only one bomber cannon, but Trebuchet is pushing as well. The one and only defensive castle of the Belgian is down, and DBS is fighting at pop cap here. The Belgian only at 133 population. Is this the place to be to learn how to arena? And hello? Yeah, depends who you ask. If you ask the players playing, probably. If you ask me, no. But yeah, DBS is putting up a show here with the Vietnamese against the Gurjaras, that's for sure. Two defensive castles did lose one of them, but the Belgian hasn't managed to break through even once. DBS, however, still doesn't have loom, so Belgian will be getting villager kills in here and there, but oh, it's just a power display to survive the game like this and not bother getting loom at all. Probably forgotten about it at this point, but I can't remember the last time I saw a minute 50 game with one player not having loom. That's rare. Oh boy. You can see the red creeping up across the map here. DBS has been pop capped for so long here now, at the point of actually it being reasonable to delete some builders to keep spamming units there. Does he have that unique tech for wood? No gold generation from wood? No, still no unique tech. Even though DBS has the cast as well. Did not get paper money here. It's not going to need it anytime soon for the gold income, but I mean, it's still free gold from lumberjacking. The Belgian says, I can't stop the push. GG, good luck next. DBS takes the second game, and we are left with a 1-2 for the Belgian. For DBS, sorry, 1-2. 1 for the Belgian, 2 for DBS. Yeah, it was a good set, Belgian. Absolutely. No loom confirmed. So if you ever see DBS in the hidden cup, he's the guy who doesn't get loom. Until minute 60 or whatever. Ay. No paper money. Relic code for the Belgian. Not too bad here. 3,800. Imperial Ages comparable. And Zelos is disappointed that the Belgian will lose with Gurjaras. It's all about the pigs not garrisoning in the bill, you know. Okay, guys, let's do one set from the price bracket as well. I'm gonna do the John Slow set. John Slow versus Exorcist, I think.